Well, hello and welcome to another episode of Never Seen It. This is a podcast about movies that we haven't seen yet. I'm your host, Betsy, and with me is Trent.
Hey, Betsy.
Hi, Trent. You sound so enthusiastic, so excited.
I'm very excited about this.
About what's going to happen today. All right, we're doing something a little bit out of left field for this episode because we were scrolling through one of the streaming services and came across this movie, and we had never heard of it before. And we watched the trailer and we were like, what the actual fuck is this?
We were hooked. We knew immediately that we needed to cover this movie.
So we are watching from 1995 a movie called Virtuosity. Now, if you're like us, you probably have never heard of this. But the stars of this movie are Denzel Washington and Russell Crowe. Denzel, who at this time already had one Oscar, and we are a few years removed from his second, as well as Russell Crowe winning an Oscar.
Right.
But this movie, Trent, based on the trailer alone, please explain what it is.
I don't know that I can. Because it seems like it's a mix of like the second Terminator movie and like other generic action movies of the time.
Yeah, so this is very, very 90s, where they were making a lot of movies about, quote, the future.
Set in the far-flung future of 1999.
Which is so pathetic for where they did this.
Why even go just 4 years in the future when there's no way you would have been able to hit that mark? But maybe in 95 they thought, oh geez, technology is just advancing so quickly. In 4 years, clearly we're going to have fucking androids everywhere.
No, what we're going to have is a computer program that is a simulation of a whole bunch of serial killers that somehow manages to come to life.
Or is he an actual human? Is he a humanoid? Is he an android? I have no idea.
I don't know if he is a computer program that gets uploaded into a body, or he just, without rhyme or reason, manifests himself. So, yeah, the short version is, so Russell Crowe is a computer simulation, a computer program that I think the police are using to try to anticipate the moves of serial killers.
Okay.
But through whatever means happen, he gets into the real world. And one of these serial killers apparently killed Denzel's family, so it's like a personal vendetta.
Or is like threatening to kill his family or something. I don't know if they're actually dead.
I'm pretty sure he already did it, but again, This trailer is absolutely bonkers.
It's insane.
It starts with the Bee Gees staying alive, and then there's a literal record scratch.
A record scratch.
And then it's the far-flung future of 1999. All of these things being said, we didn't know this movie existed. We do now, so we're gonna cover it. We don't really have anything else to say in this intro because we, like you, were surprised to find it's a movie that
Let's
exists.
end this thing and go watch it.
Let's do it. We're gonna go watch Virtuosity, and we'll be right back. And we're back. Trent, what did you think of Virtuosity?
That was as ridiculous as I expected.
Indeed it was.
Oh my god.
I loved how committed to that monstrosity, though, that each of them were. Like, listen, Denzel is doing his level best. He is doing what you expect from Denzel. So there was no moment I didn't buy him in this movie.
Yeah.
He's playing a cop who inadvertently killed some people because he was kind of set up.
Mm-hmm.
And then he's in prison, and then they have to get him out of prison because he's the only one who can catch this bad guy.
Uh-huh. Like I said, it's equal parts Terminator 2 and, now that I've seen it, Demolition Man.
A little bit, yeah. It's the far-flung future,
Yep.
and only this guy can catch the bad dude.
Gets him out of prison because no other cops are willing to really go after this guy.
Well, because in the game, in the simulation, he is the one who got the closest.
Sure.
So logic dictates he's the only man for the job.
Of course.
And meanwhile, you've got Russell Crowe, who was a complete unknown in 1995. It's not like he hadn't made movies that had some success. He just had not exploded as a household name yet.
Yeah, it wasn't until, Gladiator?
Gladiator is what really put him on the map, but there were a few other ones kind of 95 to 99 that he was starting to get more recognized.
Sure.
This one, however, I'd be willing to bet just kind of came and went because until he got more famous, he was not mentioned in this movie. He is not top billing. Denzel is top billing, and that's it.
Yeah, the beginning of the movie, the title sequence is Denzel Washington, Virtuosity, and then it's the rest of everybody else.
And Russell Crowe's like third.
Yeah.
Third or fourth, even though
Right.
he is the main antagonist.
He's probably on screen more than anybody else.
He really is. So his character, like I said in the intro, he is a computer program that it's kind of like AI, where he has been given a lot of data.
Yeah.
And the data is like multiple personalities. So it's all these different serial killers like Charles Manson and Jeffrey Dahmer. And they throw some Adolf Hitler in there.
Sure.
And they all have to fight with each other until one comes out the dominant personality, but they're all still a part of this guy.
It's all being fed into one thing through a sieve, and whatever all the droplets come out, that is the amalgamation of all of these killers. That's who he is.
Which is a bright suit wearing giggling maniac.
Yeah. I love how much Russell Crowe just giggles and is having fun.
I would love to hear an interview with him talking about this movie because I want to know, were you actually having fun or do you look back at this and go, I hate that movie? Because I really hope that this is one he looks back on fondly, regardless of the result of the filming, just because he is just insane in this. I had such a good time watching this nonsense.
Just watching him and his body language is just how he is moving and the way they cut away from him and they clearly put in a body double.
Shut up. It looks so real.
Yeah, he is fully committed to just being this maniac and it comes through in the final result.
It definitely does. So we start the movie and we are in this like futuristic space where everyone is wearing a suit and you don't know immediately that what you're in is inside the simulation.
Right. Is this like a weird other kind of future or maybe that was actually the past? Because we've seen the trailer. We know what everybody looks like, but this opening sequence does not look like that.
No, everyone's wearing a suit. I'm pretty sure most of them were men. And then Denzel and this other guy get off a train and they're wearing like police uniforms, but they're all like futuristic purple leather.
They're in purple jumpsuits and everybody else is in a gray suit.
And they have to go through this level, as it were, to find the bad guy. And he is just such a good detective that he can figure out exactly where he is.
Right.
And it's in the sushi restaurant.
Well, it's the building with the emoticon icon as the name.
I think it's great that that was the giveaway because in 1995, people wouldn't know that. The semicolon and a parentheses being a smiley face, that people wouldn't know that is insane.
Right. The only thing that you would have used that thing for is text messaging. They mention an email in this movie.
In this movie, email.
But most people know it from text messaging because it's kind of a cutesy thing, and that's just where that comes from.
But in 95, people still didn't really have email. It wasn't that commonplace.
They barely had email. They certainly didn't have text messaging.
Now, of course, this again is supposed to be the future, 1999.
1999.
Their vision of the future is very strange because they start with this big sequence of like cyber technology and people can go into this simulation and it's a training program and there's nanobots later. But nothing else is futuristic.
No.
Not a damn thing.
They did not try to like flesh out this universe and make it into future 1999.
People didn't even have fucking cell phones. Like,
Yeah.
I don't remember seeing anyone with a cell phone.
No, Denzel is at a payphone later.
Half the movie, if they're on a phone, it's a landline or maybe a wireless phone, but it's still a hard connection. But yeah, we get this opening sequence with the emoticon restaurant, and he finds Russell Crowe in there, and it's just chaos, and you are blessed with the most glorious 1995 computer animation. And I was just reading a thing about how this comes 2 years after Jurassic Park, where that stuff looks amazing for computer animation, and this one just looks super primitive and terrible.
Sure.
And it's because they just did the cheapest, most bare bones computer animation graphics that they could do. And it shows.
Well, in this building, we have all of these what look like robots because they're all doing the same thing. It's kind of like they're just background like NPCs of a video game that aren't supposed to do anything.
I actually kind of liked that. So like there's the woman that just is like, hello.
Yeah.
Hello.
Right.
And every time someone passes, hello.
And there's people that are sitting down to eat something. When they bring their chopsticks down to the food, they bring it up to their mouths, and the food disappears.
It just sort of sucks in.
and it goes down again, and it disappears again.
And the food keeps reappearing.
Yeah, the food keeps reappearing. But then you get over to Russell Crowe, and he's actually eating it.
He is. And the food keeps reappearing, and he keeps eating more.
Yeah.
But they have a big shootout, and like he actually gets shot, and there's just these over-the-top explosive chest gunshot wounds.
Oh god, the blood and the squibs of this movie are terrible.
And I get if you're trying to make it excessive in the world of the video game.
In the VR, it's not a game.
Okay, I'm so sorry. In the VR. But I get it in that context, but throughout the rest of the movie, even in the real world, some of that looked really bad.
Yeah.
So that's how we start the movie. He's in there with a partner, and Russell Crowe takes his partner hostage, or a guy hostage.
Yeah, so at the end of this sequence, Russell Crowe has the sushi chef held hostage, and he's baiting Denzel into shooting him. And he does. He kills the chef and also shoots Russell Crowe.
Yeah, Denzel shoots the hostage because he knows he's in a simulation.
Sure.
And so the stakes don't matter. He's just like, well, you wanted me to get the bad guy, so I shot the hostage.
Right. But there's also this weird thing, like after they get out of the simulation, Denzel's complaining, well, he cheated because he had some kind of weird electrical powers.
I looked at the manual, his list of weapons, and
all of the different
electricity
ways,
wasn't one of them.
All of the different ways that he can actually kill you, electricity wasn't one of them, so he cheated.
And meanwhile, the guy who is in the game with him, his brain overloads and he dies.
Which I don't understand why.
I guess it was too powerful for him.
Well, and we don't know what Russell Crowe did with this partner guy. He just kind of disappears halfway through this sequence. He doesn't get shot.
He managed to disguise him somehow. Like they showed him he was the sushi chef, I think.
Okay.
It was really quick and hard to follow because most of this movie is really quick and hard to follow.
Uh-huh.
But he is holding a guy hostage, and then after he shoots him, they show his body in ice. So I don't really exactly understand that, but maybe it's like in The Matrix where if you die in the game, you die in real life. But that's not even consistent in this movie.
It's not.
So I really have no idea. But the other guy dies. He has a seizure.
Yeah.
And he just goes into cardiac arrest.
Yeah, they're pulling him out, and his neurons are firing so quickly, and yeah, it's just a cheap way to kill off somebody, I guess. I don't really know.
To just prove the dangers of this world.
Right.
And it's just, again, kind of a very quick explanation without a lot of explanation for what's going to happen next. So they are using prisoners for this training program before they actually put cops in.
Yeah, because the point of this entire exercise is to train cops on how to apprehend criminals, but why are you going after this one criminal that just happens to be a serial killer, a crazy serial killer?
Because they needed a program, and that's what they've got.
Right, but why would you need to train regular-ass beat cops? Why wouldn't you train, like, a detective on how to, follow his trail and try to interpret things?
Hostage negotiation.
This is fucking a VR video game, a shooting gallery. That's what this is.
They don't explain any of it. All they give you is, we have this program.
Right.
We're using prisoners instead of cops because it's the beta program, and we need the prisoners to die if there's a problem and not real cops.
Right, and how the hell there are any kind of dangers to this is beyond me.
Because they don't explain it. They just keep moving on. You've got Louise Fletcher in this movie.
Yep.
Academy Award winner. Just sort of there.
Nurse Ratched, if you did not know.
She has a few scenes and a few lines and is kind of doing nothing.
Yep.
She's just there for the paycheck, it
Pretty
feels
much,
like.
Pretty much.
And she's paired up with William Fichtner, one of those guys who is in every other movie under the sun.
Betsy and I have a running joke, because for a while...
A long while.
Yeah, for a long while, we just could not think of this guy's name because he's, again, showing up in a lot of different random things. He's the guy at the beginning of The Dark Knight. We've talked about this before.
He's in Armageddon. He is the disembodied voice of the therapist in Mr. and Mrs. Smith.
Right. You have seen him in a lot of different things, but he is not a household name. So every so often, I will just come up to Betsy and say, hey, what's that guy's name? You know the guy.
Because no matter how many times I looked up his fucking name, I could never retain it. So now I just sat there going, William Fichtner, William Fichtner, William Fichtner. But yeah, they're like I don't even know who they are. Are they the cops?
No, William Fichtner and Nurse Ratched are the company representatives for LETAC. LETAC standing for Law Enforcement Technology Advancement Center.
So they're kind of the people getting this for the cops?
They're the ones developing this technology.
They're in charge of the company or the spokespeople of the company.
Correct.
Okay. And then they've got this nerdy dude who's the programmer. Daryl, who's designing it all.
Yeah, that's LETAC.
Okay, so we have them show up. They have concerns. They decide that we need to shut this program down. And then Daryl basically completely changes his character on a dime.
Yeah.
Because at first, after this, he gets wind they're going to shut the program down. Sid 6.7, which is arguably a difficult name to say.
It is.
Sid 6 is not the easiest for the mouth to wrap around. So he has a private conversation with Sid 6,
Just
Russell Crowe.
Russell Crowe.
He has a private conversation with him, and he says, you changed your own programming. You're getting too smart for your own good.
Right, because he changed the protocol to have the electricity powers.
And he's a little bit of a mousy programmer. And then he has this conversation where Sid basically gives him the brilliant idea to implant him into nanotechnology so that he can come into the real world. And this guy goes along with it.
And then do what?
What
is the fucking point of Sid coming into the real world and having a real body?
Because this guy all of a sudden says, let's see him try to kill him in the real world.
What?
And he's just a bad guy all of a sudden?
Sure.
Why? What? You care that much about this character you programmed that you would rather set him loose on the real world to murder people?
Right. I can understand if you do not want to have your quote-unquote creation destroyed by the company that you work for. I get that. But why would you then not have any kind of safety concerns about what you're about to do? And apparently they have a separate division that is also a part of this technology company that is meant to serve cops that can create these android things that you can implant a personality into.
But it's not just an android. It's not a complete body. It is nanobots.
Nanomachines.
Oh, I'm so sorry.
Nanomachines, because it's also something in an actual video game, Metal Gear Solid 4, if you're paying attention. Nanomachines.
When did that come out? Was it circa 1995?
No, much later.
But they have this dude who is played by Benny from The Mummy. I knew I recognized the name Kevin J. O'Connor.
I recognized that face he had a beard, a big-ass beard in this movie. But as soon as he started speaking, I knew it.
Yeah, so he's got the hots for a fucking programmed woman
like
who's just like, I want you. Come and get me, bad boy.
Yeah, and Sid was like saying something about you need to sacrifice your queen. And that right there, I'm just realizing he says, actually, you need to put me into the cartridge of the woman, the virtual woman, because this horny tech guy is going to want to implant that into... I just realized how ridiculous this sounds as I'm speaking.
And how would he even know from inside his limited programming that guy is developing those nanomachines to such an advanced degree?
And how can the Russell Crowe thing interact with the sexy lady chess person? I don't get it.
So there's kind of different files they're sort of just popping into this computer.
Yeah,
like they put them in the cartridges.
Yeah, it's like these individual personalities that they have their own kind of agency within this virtual world. It's like this virtual world is one place.
But they can add and remove people as they choose.
Right, and they can interact with each other. It's weird.
But somehow he is the most brilliant program ever created.
And he can manipulate people.
And he can manipulate people in the outside world to do his bidding.
And he's even talking like this Daryl guy is his creator, it's God. And he's saying, well, your God would only do this, but it's
You're a puny, pathetic God.
Right.
And I'm going to tell you what to do.
My God has no balls.
Yeah. So wait, are you telling me that he did this because he didn't want to be known as a pussy?
I don't know.
That feels...
It kind of seems like he was...
where we're going with this.
It seems like he was just kind of bullying Daryl into doing this.
Kind of seems that way. Like he didn't want to be viewed as a pussy boy.
Yeah.
So he did exactly what he was told.
Oh, God.
Because he wanted to grow up hair.
Jesus.
And when he does it, we see this lab and we get like a quick introduction to what the nanomachines are. It's this blue goo, but they demonstrate this by using a snake that he cuts in half.
A fake snake.
And the snake can like grow tendrils and it eats glass.
Right.
The nanomachines can eat glass and regenerate.
It can regenerate itself via glass.
Why? How?
Yeah.
That technology makes no sense.
No, not at all.
That's not... Machines don't eat. Machines and glass make... What? I don't get it.
It's almost as if... there's two different things here. It's almost as if they had the ending of the movie. They knew how they wanted to end this movie, but they had to insert two other things in order for the ending to make sense. The first one being Denzel's metal arm.
Oh yeah, we haven't got to the metal arm yet.
Yeah. The first one being his metal arm, which he uses to stop those blades in the fan and pull out the fucking fiber optic tube from his elbow and hack a computer with it.
Oh, I have lots of thoughts that we'll get to.
We'll get there. But the second one being the glass, because at the end of the movie, Russell Crowe lands on a whole lot of glass and all of his limbs are chopped off and he has to use that to regenerate.
So they're going to justify it by bringing it back to the beginning.
Right, because
to say he's not going to die here.
They knew that they wanted to throw him through glass, and how can he survive that?
That's so dumb. I hate any time you're just making things circular for reasons.
Yeah.
Like,
you have your beginning, you have your ending, you have to justify it.
But yeah, there are so many things in this movie that are like that, where it's just reasons. They don't make sense, but you have to go with it for the rest of the movie to work.
Yeah.
So when he is birthed from his pod,
his egg,
he literally emerges from a big rubber egg in a weird rubber suit because he's not quite fully formed.
Right.
And then he just sort of all instantaneously comes into fruition.
Right, and he hops down from his thing.
Buck-ass naked.
Buck naked, and he's just kind of hopping around, and the horny tech guy gets his neck broke by him, and he's like, hopping around saying, oh, look at this, gravity.
Because he doesn't know what that is.
He doesn't know.
He's never experienced
it, yeah. And he walks over and he's butt-ass naked because there's his butt. I mean, hey, Arnold showed his ass in all the Terminator movies and so did Robert Patrick, so why not get in on the action?
Obviously. That is exactly what you did in the 90s.
Yeah, and he experiments with the regeneration thing. He goes over to a table, cuts off his pinky, the end of his pinky, and he licks the end of it. And he says, ooh, good vintage. As if it's fucking wine. You just got birthed a minute ago, dude. You're already making jokes.
But he existed before that because his brain has been intact.
I know.
His personality existed. He just never had a corporeal form.
Oh my God. But yes, he uses a petri dish of glass and regenerates his pinky. And did he just take the guy's clothes? Where did he get these clothes?
They do not explain it.
No.
Because the clothes he's wearing... Well, I guess no. I think maybe he was wearing that guy's clothes. Because they show him on the security camera as he's leaving. And that's sort of what he was wearing. Was like a 90s vest with a button down.
Yeah, and then later he goes in and massacres an entire family. And he takes their clothes from their closet.
Oh yeah, from this point of the movie, once he emerges into the world, it starts moving at a really quick clip, and they don't explain how we're getting from point A to point B to point C ever. No. Literally ever. No. So yeah, he is in the place where he is created. The company decides that Denzel's the only man for the job, and they give him a full pardon, and they insert a tracking chip into his brain, so now he is still under control. What I don't understand here is he's a cop in his former life.
Yes.
But they have a tendency to take your badge away when you go to prison, and they just give him his badge back. Why? Why is he suddenly reinstated as a cop just because he's helping on this one case?
I don't know.
No explanation.
It's 1999. They have different rules in the future.
I guess so. So there's just a lot of that happening. And then it's just, okay, immediately he killed a family. What family? We never saw them. They just show him in somebody's house stealing a suit.
And they come up with this contrivance of, because it's all of these serial killers, he is reenacting serial killer scenes, and this one was Charles Manson.
Yeah, it was one of the Manson murders.
Right.
And there were dead cops there, but we don't know where the cops came from.
Right.
And they don't show any of, they barely show the crime scene. It's just, here's where he got in because he ate the glass. And they're all dead, and it says, die piggies or whatever on the wall.
Which is what happened at those murders.
Yep. Then we jump to the house of the programmer, Daryl. But again, we don't know how we got there or why we're there. All of a sudden, we're kind of piecing together, she is on his computer looking at his files, the previous versions of this program.
Right. And we have this computer animated sequence of all of these disembodied heads having light coming out of their mouths and all being shot into this mass. It's very strange.
The core functionality or something.
It's really hard to even understand looking at it. What are you trying to portray here?
I also, again, just was trying to sort out. Denzel shows up here with this woman who is a criminal psychologist.
Yep.
But she's researching a book, so we're justifying her existence alongside him.
Right. She is studying this company who is creating the VR training program, and she's also interested in Denzel because of his past.
Right. So they get to this house together because he doesn't want to wait for a search warrant. He just kicks open the door.
Yeah. But
then she gets to the computer first and kind of talks to him as though she's already been in the house. Did you feel like that?
I didn't get that, no. But
it felt like
she certainly knew what she was doing.
She did. She's like, it's voice activated. And she's just like, enhance on the fucking computer.
Right.
How does this guy, who is this brilliant programmer, not have any security protocols on his personal work computer at home, and she can just access all these files?
Yeah.
Seems like really bad programming advice.
And he created this computer animated thing for who? For who?
That's the job he was paid to do right now, I guess.
I was reminded when we watched Swordfish of all of the unnecessary computer graphics that did not need to exist.
That's this movie.
Right?
This whole movie. Every bit of it.
Yeah.
So we figure out that one of the personalities buried in the programming is the same guy who killed Denzel's family when he was a cop and got him into trouble in the first place.
Right.
And the psychologist says, well, he might not be the dominant personality. He's just in there. And then Denzel becomes convinced, no, he is the dominant personality.
Right.
Because it's me.
Man, that whole thing with the other serial killer, I guess he was, being in there as well, and there has to be some kind of connection with Denzel because otherwise he wouldn't do what he's going to do.
And it's also like they didn't have these memories. It's not like you had Adolf Hitler's brain and you uploaded it. You just like typed in.
It's like a criminal profile.
Yeah, but they're acting exactly as if they're real. So Grimes is basically the one who has taken over Sid's body. And he has like memories of doing these crimes. It makes no sense.
No.
How we got there. From here, it's just many scenes of Russell Crowe running amok.
Yeah, it's cat and mouse. He goes from one thing to another. I think the next thing after this is the dance club scene.
Yep, he goes to a club and causes some chaos there and kills some people and steals a purple suit.
Yep.
That's about all that happens there.
Then he goes to the mall and shows off his purple suit. And we'll talk more about this in a bit. But from there, he gets the idea to go to this like fake UFC show.
A cage match.
Because it's being broadcast live. But that's not big enough. So he has to go to obviously the thing that everybody is going to be watching. A debate about immigration.
Yes.
A televised debate about immigration.
But he takes over the studio and creates Death TV. And there are moments throughout this whole sequence where it's like, how did he get that? How did he do this? Why does any of this make sense? Like, he kidnaps the woman's daughter and brings her along, and he's wearing a jumpsuit, and he gets a patch that says Sid 6.7, and he slaps it on.
Who made that patch?
Don't know.
How did he make that patch?
Don't know. Doesn't matter. Who's making the Death TV graphics?
All of those graphics did not exist in that system. I guarantee you that.
No! But yeah, he goes to these places, creates chaos, and he's trying to get Parker, Denzel's character, to follow him.
He also wants to have the biggest audience that he possibly can. And halfway through this whole broadcast, we see a screen with that has the graph of the amount of people watching. It's 210 million people?
They were all watching the debate.
In 1999, I don't think that many people would tune in.
Sure they would. It's the future. You can dream big. But because he keeps going and like every place he goes, there's a camera. Because it's 1999/1995 and everybody has cameras. So his whole thing is being recognized and getting notoriety.
Yeah.
And so this is the catalyst that makes Denzel say, aha, he is the dominant personality because his whole thing, that serial killer, was fame and notoriety, and he wanted a bigger audience and a bigger platform.
Right.
And the only reason he went after Denzel is because he got too close.
Well, and we get this flashback of Grimes doing an interview, like he's being interviewed by a couple of different journalists, like asking him all these questions. Okay, why did you go after Denzel? Why did you do this? Why did you kill his family?
What's it like to be a murderer?
What is this all about? Well, he started it. Is basically his response.
And meanwhile, he's got Denzel's wife and daughter locked up in a room in the same building. And when he opens the door to save them, he triggers the bomb and it blows up his arm.
Right, and Denzel goes in by himself. He's got this paint on his face. He is just, it's seeming like he's not even a cop. It seems like he's just going in by himself.
Like he threw his badge down and said, I'm doing this alone.
Right, how did we get here?
I don't
get it.
But yeah, he survives the explosion but loses his arm. And then he massacres Grimes and his
Everybody.
men.
All of his men plus the journalists.
By mistake. In his defense.
Oh, no.
No. In his defense, he told them to stay down. They make a noise while he is shooting up Grimes and he just like reacts.
Oh.
So I don't think he had any intention of killing them. They were just in his way.
I don't think he had any intention, but he was fucking crazed.
He was. At this point, if you jump in his line of sight, you kind of knew what was going to happen there.
Yeah.
But this is what happened to him and why he ended up in prison. And he got a metal arm because metal arm.
And they don't really talk about that at all.
No.
It's just a couple of tossed off lines.
And
they
it
don't
has, like,
show it.
It has fake skin. He has like a big scar,
Yeah.
but there's skin over it.
Yeah, they don't really show it at all.
Again, this is how far technology has advanced on these 3 fronts. We can do metal arms, we can do nanomachines, and we can do interactive training programs, virtual reality style.
Virtuosity style.
Virtuosity style. But no cell phones, no flying cars, no nothing else that would be of use to anyone.
No internet.
No internet.
Nope.
Nope.
Hardly anybody has a computer.
Oh, and we can put trackers in your brain that can find you anywhere, and they're full of poison.
Right.
Big twist.
That is activated by microwaves that emit from satellites.
Duh.
You know?
Trent, obviously.
Everybody's got one of those.
Don't you? And it's another one of those things that they just kind of throw in there. That they say it, they resolve it, and they move on. Oh, by the way, that chip that you have in your brain, it's got a toxin in it, and it can be activated remotely anytime they want you dead.
Yeah, and William Fichtner is going to go and activate it. But the other cop comes in and says, anybody using this chair? And he picks it up and first of all, he shoots the console, because that's how you turn off a computer, Betsy. You shoot it a bunch of times, and then you hit it with a chair.
Yeah. If you're William Forsythe, that's how you do it.
That's right. Which, by the way, I feel like I've seen William Forsythe in, like, I don't know, 6 different things as a cop. He just kind of looks like a cop.
Every
he sounds
90s
like a cop.
movie ever.
Yeah.
So yeah, we just have these scenes of Russell Crowe causing chaos. Like he's DJing in the club, but he's sampling sounds of people screaming and crying.
He's recording the screams of the people inside, and he's yelling at them, and he's shooting some people randomly, and taking the guy's suit, and he's naked on the side. It's really strange.
And then after he leaves, after he escapes, like you said, he's like in a mall in the purple suit, and that fucking scene from the trailer is actually in this movie. He is walking to Staying Alive.
Yeah.
I don't know why.
What is the tone of this movie?
Up and down, all over the place.
Yeah.
And then he just snaps a dude's neck because he keeps turning on the cage match when he wants the news coverage of him at the club.
Right.
That's what he wants on every single television. But he goes to the cage match and he somehow rigs it so the same woman is on screen the whole time.
Right, because at some of these matches, they find a hot woman in the crowd and they're going to fixate on her because they know the kinds of people who are watching this trash.
And he goes there and he decides he's going to murder her on television.
Well, it's almost as if he's going to bite her neck.
He literally, I think, was planning on ripping her throat out with his teeth.
Right.
Why? He doesn't have a style.
Is that a serial killer thing? That's lost on me.
Jeffrey Dahmer?
Maybe.
Didn't he eat people?
He did, but he prepared them. He didn't eat them raw, I don't think. Jesus.
Hannibal Lecter style, but he's not real.
He's not real.
And there are just some sequences here, like he's about to get caught. The security guys, why does everyone in the security team carry a massive fucking shotgun at this wrestling event?
Oh, yeah, I suppose.
They were just security guards. They were not the police.
Yeah. Well, and even fucking the MC, if you did not know, famous announcer Michael Buffer.
Yeah, he's there.
Yeah.
He's announcing.
He's doing the whole thing.
He doesn't use the phrase, but he says rumble.
He says rumble. But he's like commentating over what is happening around the ring. Nothing happening in the ring.
No, he's like, he's up there. Look over there.
Right. Everybody in the crowd, keep calm. The security people have it under control. Meanwhile, Russell Crowe is like tossing a guy like almost into the ring from the crowd.
From the upper decks.
Which we have no explanation as to why Russell Crowe is so damn strong. We have no explanation of that.
Nope. They don't go into that at all. He just can do anything he wants to, apparently.
Yeah.
The cops with the big guns shoot his hand off.
Yeah.
There is a flagrant amount of just firing into crowds in this movie.
Oh, yeah. With a shotgun.
With shotguns, with handguns. Nobody is being very careful about when and where they're firing.
Well, and after Denzel goes back to the cop shop, his friend is berating him. It's like, dude, I know you were a cop, but Jesus.
Yeah, cool it.
You need to hold off on shooting into crowds.
He does it several times in this movie. And they set it up in that early introduction scene where he shoots the hostage.
Right.
And then he gets in real life, and he seems unconcerned with the bodies around him.
Yeah.
He doesn't actually hit anybody. He's very lucky.
Yeah.
Like, even when he is chasing Russell Crowe after this and he jumps on a train, he's got a hostage and he's trying to get a clear shot.
Yeah, he's trying to bait him into shooting this woman.
And it looks like he did,
Right.
when in fact Russell Crowe actually shot her from behind and then threw the body to make it look like he did.
Because, of course, he has a gun.
Yeah. So it's just a lot of this. And then at the end of the movie, he decides to kidnap the woman's daughter.
Played by Kaylee Cuoco, by the way.
Oh my God, she's so little. This is her first credited movie.
Barely even looks like her, but...
No, when she kind of did her, like, side smile smirk that she does.
when she kind of squints her eyes.
There you could see it, but
Yeah.
she's still little enough that she's almost unrecognizable. Like,
Yes.
if you hadn't pointed it out, I wouldn't have noticed. So he kidnaps her, rigs her up with a bomb somewhere to recreate the scene earlier in the movie.
Yep.
Comes on Death TV, starts threatening the whole staff there, and the only reason he stops is because Denzel gets them to cut the phone line because his audience disappears. He starts freaking out because his whole thing is being on TV. Again, how we got from where we started to here, no clue.
Nope.
It's just a choice he made.
Yeah.
And they have this final confrontation up on the roof. Denzel catches up with him. He chases him to the roof. They kind of wrestle around and shoot each other a bunch. And then he falls through the glass and his legs fall off and his arms fall off. I will give you the prosthetic work, the makeup here is actually really good.
It is, for 1995.
So he's got like shards of glass all the way through him. He's got the blue goo coming out of his pores and his mouth. And it's convincing. But of course, I'm laying here going, he's covered in glass. He's covered in glass. What the fuck is going to stop him?
We saw him eating glass.
There was
like
literally
little shards.
taking handfuls.
Yeah.
Just popping them in like M&Ms.
Yeah.
So he's laying there, and Denzel needs the information. Where's the little girl? Where is she?
Yeah.
He won't tell him, so he rips the back of his head and takes out his little chip.
Yeah, the little module.
The little module that is his program, because we've established earlier in the movie, the only way to stop these things is to take out the control. Then there is this dramatic cut to back on the roof. I honest to God thought there was something wrong with the movie.
Or like this is a different version just baked into this? Like
yeah,
how what? No, this is wrong.
At first I was like, shit, are we actually still in the simulation this whole time? And this is like a dramatic twist. Because in this version, he throws Denzel off the roof and he lands on the cement, but he doesn't die.
He goes splat.
Yeah, he just gets right back up again. But they convince Sid to tell them where the daughter is.
Right. So what they actually did, they succeeded, but they brought the chip. He doesn't destroy it. They brought the chip back into this VR set. Denzel and the woman get into there and do their little acting scene there, and he finally gives up where the girl is.
Yep, Sid just assumes he's still in the real world.
Right.
Which again doesn't really make any sense, because for a program that seems to be sentient, that seems to have consciousness, to suddenly lose consciousness and then not notice things are different.
Right. The only thing I can say to defend that is that they brought Daryl with them to make this thing go again.
Like he maybe coded it so he'd just wake up right where he left off.
Right. Or like he coded it as if he like loses the ability to know where he is.
Maybe. Because yeah, he just assumes he's still in the real world because of where and when they put him.
Sure.
And he gives up the information and they succeed. So he's back in the game. He is lost. Denzel gets out. The woman gets out. Daryl gets it because he's trying to still, at the 11th hour, save his creation.
Right. And he kills the other cop.
He does. William Forsythe gets it with a golf club or something.
Yeah.
So now they know where the daughter is. And she was in the, like, I don't even know what this is.
The ventilation
thing.
Yeah.
Tower on top of the building.
Yeah.
She was there the whole time right underneath their feet.
Of course.
So to rescue her, there is a little door, a little hatch. But Denzel knows, because he's basically recreating the scene where his wife and daughter died, that if they open that door, there's a trigger.
Yep.
So they can't go in that way. So he has to go in through the top. But there's a big fan, which he punches with his big metal arm.
Yep.
and he gets in. But there's all of these different things
there's
stopping him.
Trip lasers everywhere. The girl is actually sitting on a pressure plate so that if the pressure goes away from the plate, that will trigger it as well.
Yep, there's like 3 lasers that'll trigger it. The pressure plate will trigger it.
Right.
If he messes with the keyboard, it triggers it. And there's like an auto video that he pre-recorded and said, well, if you're watching this video, it must be you.
Right.
And I've set up some things for you.
And the woman is saying, why don't you just bypass the operating system? Like saying generic computer terms that a clinical psychologist would absolutely know.
Her entire presence in this movie is unfathomable. Like, genuinely,
It's so
they just
dumb.
needed someone to be involved so that the daughter would be relevant and make sense.
And to have somebody that Denzel can call.
Yeah, and
Just say, I didn't kill my wife.
there was a subplot where they have like a romance, and that whole thing got cut from the movie.
Yeah.
So I was thinking that's where it was going, because that's usually what happens in these kind of movies, and then it didn't go there.
Yeah, I read that there is another like 80 minutes worth of footage out there.
Oh, God.
Yeah, so the editor of this movie had to completely redo it and resubmit it to the studio because initially the studio completely rejected this movie outright.
They said, no, this movie sucks.
This movie is terrible. You need to redo this.
I love that this is the good version.
Yeah. So they thank the editor in the special thanks.
Oh, Lord.
Yeah, because without him, this movie would not exist.
It would have been thrown in the dump.
Yeah.
Oh, my God. But they get to this end sequence. All looks lost because Sid has thought of every version of what he might try.
Right.
But what we didn't consider, apparently, was that because he has a metal arm full of little fiber optic tubes, he can just pull it out and hook it up willy-nilly.
Yep.
And it will disarm the entire bomb.
Disarm the bomb.
Yes, I thought of that.
God damn it. God damn it.
Why and how does any of that make sense?
It doesn't.
Just, this is the input, this is the output.
It's gotta be. It's the equivalent of like, do I cut the red wire or the blue wire? That's what they were trying to accomplish here.
I would genuinely much rather that he had figured out a way to like counter the pressure.
Yeah.
To get her out of there.
Indiana Jones this shit. You got a bag full of sand on
Yes.
you?
That
is the weight of a little girl?
I would rather he had done that and get her free, or at least have the pressure on it long enough that he dies. If he had died at the end of this, it would have been more impactful to me.
Yep.
It would have made more sense if he just had straight up lost, as opposed to, I'm going to rip open my arm, hook up this tube in a way that totally makes sense, and disarms the bomb.
Right.
I have no words for this, Trent. It makes no fucking sense.
No. But damn it, I had a good time.
And that's the end of the movie.
I had a good time, though.
Cue the Peter Gabriel. Cue the Debbie Harry. Live was in this. This was like a budgeted music score.
Yeah.
There was a lot of licensed music in this.
Very
from
90s.
Relevant bands.
Very 90s.
So I'm sure there are some things here that we didn't touch on before we start to wrap this up, Trent. Any gems you'd like to bring up?
Oh, there's so many, Betsy. First of all, we completely skipped over the whole scene at the prison.
Oh, yeah.
When he comes back from the VR session at the beginning of the movie, he gets brought back to prison, and he thinks he's going to go over to this isolation place that they put cops who are incarcerated because, you know, newsflash, people who are convicted of crimes don't really like cops all that much.
That is true. They do not.
Yeah, so instead, the people in charge put him over into the general population wing, and there's gonna be a fight.
Because the guy who was with him died.
Yeah.
They're basically gonna get retribution because he volunteered to go because you talked him into it or something.
I don't know.
It was very broad.
Yeah.
This whole scene doesn't need to exist except to demonstrate what a badass Denzel is.
But he's not really.
No, he has to fight white power Chad Kroger. and he wins easily.
Yeah.
And he's like screaming at all the prisoners who are just throwing paper scraps.
Yeah.
Where did they get all this paper?
There's so much paper.
There's so much paper.
And like all of these cells are like translucent.
It's a futuristic prison.
Yeah, I don't really know how else to describe it.
There's also not that many. There's like, what, 30, 40 cells in this
like
hallway?
on like 3 levels, or at least 2 levels.
And there's a door on each end.
And then it's not until the end of the fight that the prison guards come in and break it up.
Yeah, the other guy had a knife. Like, this is a terrible
shiv.
prison.
Yeah.
They clearly wanted this guy to get what was coming to him, and it didn't. So they pull him off and put him back in jail.
Why did the guards go along with it?
Who knows? Nothing in this movie makes any sense.
Yeah.
This scene does not need to be here at all.
It really doesn't.
Unless the only reason is to establish on the body scan before he is re-entered into the population that he has a metal arm.
But then you didn't have to have the fight.
No. I honestly thought they were going to show his dick for a second because they kept scanning up. He's very naked and we're seeing feet.
They're panning up and up and up and up. There's his thighs. Whoa!
We got real close.
Whoa!
Real close. It's like, please stop anytime. I don't need his dick in this movie.
And then the only other thing I didn't mention is when Russell Crowe goes to the dance club, the bartender is a robot.
Yes.
And it just seems like the only reason why he's there, why the robot is there, is to have the joke about, oh, you must be one of my ancestors or some shit like that.
And he shoots his head off.
Yeah.
Doesn't need to be, so much of this movie doesn't need to be here. But if you cut out what didn't need to be here, it would be 23 minutes long.
Or just wouldn't exist.
That too.
But that's all I got, Betsy. What do you got?
I just had a couple more things. So at the end of the movie, they win the day, they find the girl, they get her out of there, they disarm the bomb. Denzel is on the roof, and he reaches into his pocket, and he has the cube, the little diamondy thing.
Yeah, the module.
The module that has Sid's programming on it. Why'd he take that? Why is it in his pocket? Why does he chuck it into the night?
I would actually say he is taking it upon himself to destroy that thing because the company who created this VR thing would probably still want to keep that and do more study on it because William Fichtner said earlier in the movie, oh, it would be a shame to terminate him entirely. You just need to disable him and bring him back because this is the first time where the nanomachines were actually used in a real body.
I feel like you're giving this movie too much credit.
Hey.
You are putting a very nuanced response to that question that I didn't ask for.
I give them the benefit of the doubt.
Well, they don't deserve it. Louise and William are just going to do evil. Let them do it. They're not in this movie anymore.
The evil corporations get their comeuppance.
Final thought, the song in the outro over the credits is a Peter Gabriel number because this director apparently worked on a couple of his music videos.
Yep.
And it's a song called Party Man. And it's weird.
It's called This Is Party Man.
This is Party Man. Just, after you're done listening to this, go to YouTube, go to Spotify. I don't know where or if this song is available.
Probably not.
Just go find it if you can.
I mean, I Shazammed it, so it must exist somewhere.
It must be out there somewhere. So just check that out. It's a song that exists. But this movie's ridiculous. I didn't expect anything else. I had a fabulous time with this movie that is rated 32% on Rotten Tomatoes. Somehow that feels too high, but also exactly where it needs to be.
I think it's too low.
You think it's too low?
I think more people should have actually enjoyed themselves watching this movie. It is terrible. I know it's terrible.
I think the only reason this movie isn't rated higher was because at the time it came out, there are movies like this that are better.
You're right.
Even though the movies that I'm comparing them to are also terrible.
Yeah. Like I said, Demolition Man is a much better one of these movies.
Yeah, there's just so many from 92 to 97. Really the entirety of the 90s. So something like this is going to get lost in the shuffle. But the great news is, with a platform like Paramount Plus or Amazon Prime, you too can experience this nightmare.
I hope that you did, because good God.
If you haven't, I really hope you do, because listening to us talk about it doesn't do it justice.
Watch the movie just to watch Russell Crowe be crazy.
A giddy little maniac.
Yeah.
It's delightful. So that's gonna be it for Virtuosity. But we would love to know, did you know this movie existed? Because we sure as shit didn't.
Nope.
Did you see it in 1995? Someone out there must have. We would love to hear from you. Email us your thoughts, neverseenitpod@gmail.com. Going back to a series we just finished, we do have an email about Indiana Jones. So quite a different property than what we just talked about.
Good movies.
This one comes in from our friend Mitch from Saskatoon.
Our distinguished contributor.
Oh, excuse me.
Mitch.
Our distinguished contributor, Mitch. He says, "Salutations, Betsy and Trent. It has been a while, sorry, been busy and wildfires and all. Indiana Jones is one of my all-time favorite series, and I'm glad you're covering them all. It inspired me to show Raiders to my children for the first time at 12 years old, just to see what children thought. I will say mixed reviews. One was okay, one laughed at parts, but then they did have a nightmare that night. At least I tried."
Oops.
They'll
get over it.
That is the thing about a movie like Raiders, is most of it's probably fine, but it's like, how do you deal with face melting?
Yeah.
Because some children, they find glee in the chaos.
Whether they deserve it or not, face melting is a traumatic thing to witness. Anyway.
Even if it's super fake. Like,
Sure.
At 12, it's a crapshoot.
Sure.
Like, some kids at 7 can understand this is very silly.
Sure.
Some grown-ass adults, that's too much for them. He continues, "Betsy's mom was probably just saving her from watching a bad movie in Temple of Doom, besides all of the weird stuff. I think it was a blessing to keep it out of your VHS library. Last Crusade has got to be my favorite growing up, probably just because of Sean Connery. It has a bunch more gags and so forth. I will have to rewatch it to see if the storyline is actually coherent.
It is.
I saw most of the fourth one only once, and I think it was forgettable.
Clearly.
I will only rewatch because I am curious about this last installment and need to be up to date. They probably should have stopped at 3, but hey, money talks. I will email much sooner the next time. I have been able to catch up on a few movies and even found one coming soon at the library. Ciao, Mitch from Saskatoon."
Excuse me, Betsy. He said smokeskatoon.
Oh, I'm sorry, Smokeskatoon.
Smokeskatoon.
Because there's fires.
Thanks for that, by the way, Canada.
Yeah, I don't disagree. We've talked at length about Temple of Doom and its overall quality. It's definitely a mixed bag. I would not put it at the bottom of the pile. That's just my opinion. But there are people who love Temple of Doom.
It is a very divisive movie. That's not to say anything bad or good about it. It just divides people.
But I love that there is a group that adores Temple of Doom.
Sure.
That's fantastic to me, because I don't get it, but that doesn't mean it's a bad movie.
We've seen some people putting out their rankings. A lot of them put it at the bottom. Like, they hate it worse than Crystal Skull and Dial of Destiny.
Go figure.
I don't know.
And your comment, Mitch, on you only saw the fourth one, part of it once, you think? I would think you'd remember.
He said it was forgettable.
Oh my goodness. Well, fine. I hope that you have since been able to rewatch or watch in its entirety Crystal Skull, and you can soon enjoy Dial of Destiny.
Indeed.
But if you, other dear listeners, would like to be like Mitch, that email again, neverseenitpod@gmail.com. You could also reach out to us on social media. We're on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter. You can send us a message on there as well. You can also support the show by clicking the link in the podcast description, and we can bring you more fun-filled joy like Virtuosity.
Help pay for these subscriptions.
There's a lot of them now.
Yeah.
It's getting real out of control. But most of all, we would love if you write us a review or rate us 5 stars on your app of choice. It helps us grow the show and reach new audiences. And we have been saying it a few episodes now, but if you could, go and listen to us on Spotify for the time being. We're trying to grow our audience over there, so we would love your support.
Yeah, you don't have to completely switch, but just go onto Spotify, find the page, and listen to some episodes, or even just part of an episode. We're just trying to get some more people over there.
But with that, this has been another episode of Never Seen It. Like we've said, July, there's no series. We're just doing one-off movies this whole month.
Yep.
So If you're paying attention, you'll know what's happening in a few weeks with episode number 250.
Yep.
Go back and look at our previous every 50. You'll kind of sense a trend. We've got those things coming this month and then some new series probably in August. But for now, I am Betsy.
And I'm Trent.
And we will see you in the future.
In the future. Bye-bye.